Hello, hello. Oh, I'm hoping this just lets you guys jump right in as we get going. Hello. Hey guys, we're going to start this without slides. I want you guys to see me. I want to be able to see and hear from you as you guys are jumping in. Do me a favor. We're all familiar with Zoom now, right? Jump in the chat. Let me know that you're here. I'm going to need your energy because it's early on a Friday morning and I got a little tickle in my throat. So I got my hot tea here with me. I can see you guys making your way into the room. Make sure you jump into the chat. You can find the button. Hey, you guys can find the button down at the bottom. Jordan, what are you testing? This is such a curious name. Hey, Kayla and Alyssa. Oh my goodness. Guys, it's a Friday morning. Are we really? Where is everybody? I want to start on time. I'm a very prompt person. Hey, Alexandra, I see you guys jumping in. Don't be shy, you guys. Jump in the chat. I know you might be on your phone. You might be at work. You might have a kid hanging on you. I get it. I get this so hard, okay? But you guys are here with your energy this morning, hopefully, because you wanna learn how you can start a virtual business from home. I don't wanna waste any of your time at all. So we are going to go ahead, I'm gonna share my screen as I still see you guys coming into the room, and we're gonna get started. Does that sound good with you guys? Oh my goodness. Should we wrap this up right now? You guys are being very quiet except for Jordan testing. Okay, Alyssa's ready to go. Thank you so much. Alexander's ready to go. All right, you guys, I'm like, I need your help. Like, we can't do this without you, okay? I know it's kind of a weird time to do this workshop. I know some people might be managing virtual school, driving in the car, whatever you got going on, but I'm gonna need you, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I'm gonna need your help to make sure that I do it correctly because sometimes we got technology. Oh, I think I already did the wrong screen. Share desktop 2. What's up, Mallory? Feeding your baby, but you're all in. That is so beautiful. I love it. I'm actually going to turn off my camera, but can someone give me a thumbs up or something? Can you guys see my screen that says The Free Mama, how you can start your own virtual assistant business? I'm Lauren Golden. I'm the founder of The Free Mama. Alexander's got it. That's good enough for me. We're going to dive in. You guys, I'm here to help ambitious moms like you ditch the 9-to-5 to work from home and live a totally awesome, guilt-free life. You are in the right place. I want you to know if you're in the right place, right? Like, I don't want to waste your time. You're in the right place if you are totally exhausted and burn out from your 9-to-5 or trying to figure out a way not to go back from the pandemic, back to work, back from maternity leave. Maybe you're pregnant. You don't want to go back after maternity leave so that you can be around for your kiddos. You're also in the right place if you're tired of spinning your wheels with network marketing or blogging and working with absolutely nothing to show for it. Like, that is so discouraging. And I have been there, done that. Or you are looking for something that is just for you, something that gives you purpose outside of motherhood, but also fuels your bank account. Is this resonating with anybody so far? Anybody? Is this why you signed up? Is this what you're here for? I hope so. If any of these sound like you, I'm so stinking glad you're here and that you've decided to invest this time in yourself. Because a quick Google search shows over 4 billion with a B results for how to work from home. And that's just plain overwhelming. So if you're here today, you have the motivation, you just need the path. And that's what I'm going to give to you. In this training, you will end the cycle of feeling trapped and discouraged and have the chance to become a free mama. You'll discover the Free Mama Freedom Framework already used by thousands of women who have left the 9-to-5 and stress behind for good. And most importantly, you will take control of what you do, when you do it, and how much you earn with my proven path for building a successful business online. Does this sound good to you? Let me know. All right, I gotta show you that this is real, right? Because otherwise you're like, who is this crazy chick drinking tea with the scratchy throat, right? So hashtag free mama win. I got my first client. I'm so proud of myself and so grateful for your guidance. Don't give up, ladies. Just wanted to pop in and say I officially got my first client. Using my brain feels so good. She's been a stay-at-home mom with 2 kiddos, 2 young kiddos. And I was gonna say, I can't believe I've already made $300, but I've put in the work and delivering the results and it just feels amazing. I'm applying for my first 1K month award. How many of you guys would love to have an extra $1,000 a month? I'm actually super late though, because I've been making over $1,000 a month since January. I'm so grateful for this amazing group. Now on to 5K. Lauren, I did it. I hit $5,000 in March. I signed 4 contracts today and 3 of those invoices haven't even been paid yet. Cry emoji. I mean, this is just beautiful. And last but not least, I'm totally shocked and full of mixed emotions. I just realized that as of this month, I've reached over $100,000 in revenue for my business. It's so weird, but I don't even know how to feel. I'm proud, excited, and mostly emotional. I can't thank Lauren and this community enough for what this program has brought to my life. All the feels right now. So good. You guys, I started the Free Mama to revolutionize the current belief system that moms have to make a choice to either be successful at work or to be an awesome mom at home. Who feels this? Like, who's living this pressure right now? Like, this was my life, you guys. But you don't have to choose between family and finances. In this workshop, I'm going to be sharing some information about starting a virtual assistant business, also known as freelancing, which means we may be talking about things you're not familiar with yet. The Freedom Framework works. But if you're not willing to give me your undivided attention for the next hour of this workshop, then I do have concerns about your commitment and desire to start a virtual business from home that I promise you will totally transform your life. So, in all fairness, before I waste your time, this might not be for you if you are looking for a quick fix, get rich quick, or instantaneous results without actually working. If you are not willing to follow the framework I'm going to teach you, or if you think you already know better, or if you're someone who whines and complains when someone shares their knowledge and time with you for free and then invites you to learn more about how to work together. I've been doing this for over 6 years, and it would simply not be possible for me to teach you everything I know in one presentation. But I'm going to show you how you can start your own virtual assistant business while breaking down part of the Freedom Framework so you're left with something you can take and implement on your own. Then, if you feel like you need more help, I'll tell you about the Free Mama movement after I've delivered on my promise. And if that sounds good to you, we are ready to dive in and get started. You guys, my name is Lauren Golden. Some of you saw my face at the beginning. I see a few more of you guys have jumped on. I'm a wife. I'm a mom of 3 beautiful but very testing children. I live in Kansas. We lived in Texas for 5 years. We just moved back. I grew up here, and I am just so grateful to be here with you today. But I was not always the owner of the Free Mama. Back in 2014, I was an overwhelmed, underappreciated, who feels me on this one, mom, and I was exhausted. I had a newborn. Daphne had just turned 2. My oldest are 4 days shy of 2 years apart. And I was pretty much neglecting my husband at this point in our relationship. Like, I was just exhausted. I was working full time, and I would spend my lunch breaks, like, while I was pumping for my newborn, like sitting in a bathroom at work. And I started Googling how to work from home, like it just all the time. And I tried a lot of those things. And if I'm honest with you, I did not do very well. I failed at a lot of them. I tried network marketing. I tried blogging. I tried, those like secret shopper sign up things, or like the surveys where you can earn like a whopping 3 pennies. Those are exciting. In 2015, after a year of feeling like a failure, both at work and at home, I learned about freelancing and realized that if other people could make it work and find success, that meant that I could too. Like, I'm smart, you're smart. If I can do it, you can do it, right? But there was still one teeny tiny little problem. Even though leaving my job was everything I wanted, it was also something that sort of freaked me out. Who can relate to that? I felt totally trapped because even though I was miserable, I was also safe. I put that in quotes because I think the pandemic taught us a lot about the safety of a 9-to-5 job, and I was comfortable. So living in a toxic work environment, but also afraid of the unknown of what it would look like to leave. So I didn't do anything different. I'm freelancing on the side. And then all of a sudden, very unexpectedly, I had a miscarriage. So I'm going to turn my camera back on because, this is serious stuff. Hey guys, we were not trying to get pregnant. So it was an unexpected little blessing in our lives. And I started making a new plan of like, well, maybe I just won't go back from maternity leave. Like, that feels easier than quitting my job. I just won't go back. And at our 12-week appointment, my husband never went with me. This would have been our 3rd child. And he went with me that day to the OBGYN. And I think it was a total divine intervention thing. And we found out that there was no heartbeat. And I don't know if any of you have experienced this, just statistically speaking. I'm guessing about 6 of you have who are on here, because I know the stats on miscarriages. And it was the most alone I've ever felt in my life. And even though my husband was amazing and I wasn't literally alone, I felt super alone. And I had this huge awakening in this time of loss in my life. And it sounds weird, but I heard this voice of like, what are you going to do now? Like, you're so unhappy, but you're not doing anything about it. And so there is a happy ending to this story for me, because I did something different. I realized that if I wanted my life to look different, I had to do something different. And I walked into my office 1 week later and I quit my job. It was terrifying, you guys, but I did it. Now, after that, things looked drastically different. I started the year totally self-employed and replaced my income working from home, working half the hours that I had been at my 9 to 5. And this might seem really silly to you, but I took my kiddos to the zoo and the local children's museums whenever I wanted. But if you're a working mom, you know what I'm talking about. Like, we only get to go on Saturday afternoons when it's packed. And I got to go to the zoo on like a Wednesday morning when no one was there with my babies. And it was life-changing for me. It was everything that I had wanted, to be able to control my schedule and how I was able to be with my kids. And by 2017, I was in a place where I felt appreciated for the work that I was doing for the first time in my entire life. I was highly paid while doing things that I actually enjoyed online. And at the times that worked around my family, like around our schedule. I could do it at night. I could get up in the morning. I could do it during the day if I wanted, or if I had help, or if my kids were napping. And I realized that getting outside of your comfort zone is the only way to achieve what you want. So how did I do it? How did I go from no business experience, no network, no time, no extra money in the bank, no website, and frankly, not really a clue, to the original free mama? And the answer to that is the Freedom Framework. So you might want to get your camera out. We're going to go real fast, ladies, okay? Foundation, relationships, exposure, expertise, discipline, overcoming obstacles, and momentum. There's your Freedom Framework. Take a screenshot. Don't worry, you'll get the replay. So there are a lot of things I don't do well, you guys. Like, I am not a good cook. I am not very good at anything domestic. I cannot do crafts to save my life. But something I do very well is walk women through the process of how to create a virtual assistant business, quit their job, and live a totally awesome guilt-free life. And once I proved it to myself, meaning I actually did these things, I put everything I learned into the 7-step framework so that I had a process to teach it to moms just like you. And since 2017, thousands of women and even a few brave men have followed this process and gone on to start their own successful virtual businesses, which means it works. So here's what you are about to discover in today's training. First, we're going to talk about how to make money at home without joining an MLM or selling to friends and family. How to quickly leverage your current skills to get paid, even if you don't know anything about business. And lastly, how to profit in just a few hours a day so that you can spend the rest of it going to the zoo or doing whatever it is that you love to do. So first up, how to make money without joining an MLM or selling to friends and family. You can do this at home, in an RV, on the beach, on your couch, wherever you want. You guys ready? Let me know. Give me some energy while I take a sip of tea for my scratchy throat. Awesome. Alyssa's with me. Thank you, girlfriend. All right. Have you ever considered being your own boss, running an online business, working from home, but you had no idea where to start? Who am I talking to? Mallory, am I talking to you? Who's tried it before? All right, Tracy, Alyssa, you for sure. Steph raised her hand. I love it. All right, now where are my homegirls? And I feel you so deeply. Hey, Stacy, I see you. Or worse, have you already tried to make money from home and you failed before? Where are my scarred friends? Jamie, I feel you, girl. Mallory also. Oh my gosh, guys, I feel this so deeply, I cannot even tell you. After many failed attempts, I was desperate. Notice that word is in bold, for a way to make money from home where I didn't have to come up with some Shark Tank idea. How many of you feel like the only way to make money is to invent something? I'm like, I just need to get struck by lightning with a brilliant idea. You don't. Blog for years, buy and manage a bunch of inventory, or recruit people. Ugh, that just did not resonate with me, just to earn a living. Oh my gosh. There is a problem with all of these quote unquote opportunities that nobody is talking about. And that is how likely you are to fail. 5,500 people join a network marketing company, also known as direct sales, multi-level marketing. Some people associate these as a pyramid scheme every single day. And an average of 99.71% of participants lose money. You can't see my face, but I just made a megaphone with my hands. That means only 16 people out of the 5,500 won't lose money. I don't know about you. I don't know about your past experience. I don't know how you feel about direct sales. But regardless, when you look at those statistics, you better get pissed because that is not good enough. Like, that just makes me mad. Super mad. 81% of bloggers will never make even $100 from blogging. And how many moms, maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you know, thinks, oh my gosh, I'm going to start a blog. This was me, by the way, in 2014, 15. Oh, okay. Affiliate marketing. If you don't know what that is, that's when you sell someone else's product and then you get a commission for it, basically. So it's different than network marketing, but it's still not your product or service that you're selling. And it takes time. And unless you have a massive audience, like, you're probably not really going to make good money off of it. And it offers no control. Meaning if that company goes out of business, now you have nothing to sell. So you're not really in control of your own business. And while I am ecstatic that there are more remote, flexible jobs now than ever, thanks to the pandemic, they don't actually give you freedom. You're still working a job for someone else. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what I wanted. And that's not what I'm here to teach you guys about today. But there is a legitimate, predictable, and sustainable way to make money from home. And all you need is a computer and Wi-Fi. And I'm talking about freelancing, sister friend. So let's unpack this. If you've never heard of freelancing, it's kind of like a job, except you're not an employee. So when you show up the first day of work at your 9 to 5, you fill out a W-2, you are an employee. As a freelancer or independent contractor, you would fill out a W-9. So it's just taxed differently, but you're kind of like a small business owner. Now, today we're here to talk about becoming a virtual assistant. So I wanted to give you guys an idea of some of the things that virtual assistants in the free mama world are doing. They're doing administrative tasks. They're doing social media type tasks. They're doing some writing, editing, and proofreading. Maybe they're updating websites. So something who a lot of people who wanted to start a blog, I'm like, instead of you starting a blog and not making money, why don't you go to a company that's leveraging a blog for content and write their blog and get paid for it and not hope that someone finds your blog, right? Or edit their blog, post their blog for them. You can schedule people's emails or write their emails. Every written word you've ever seen, someone wrote it and someone else maybe designed it and someone else got it in front of you. Organizational tasks. Where are my organized mamas? Usually it's about 50% creative, 50% organized. Organizational tasks, like going through someone's inbox or Google Drive. Yeah, I see you, Jamie and Alexander. That's right. You toot your own horn. Customer service. Where are my people? Maybe you've been working in retail or restaurants or, I would argue even education. You have to know customer service, be good with people. Graphic design, where are my creatives? Probably the people who were not my organizational people. You can be doing graphic design. Write this down. It's called Canva. It's going to change your life. Go Google it after this. Tech support. Where are my techie people? Bookkeeping. Where are my numbers girls? Video and audio editing. You guys, I'm telling you, whatever your interests or your strengths are, there is space for you as a virtual assistant. The barrier for entry is so freaking low. You do not need a degree or certification, but if you have one, sweet. If you know how to book doctor's appointments for your children and check your email, and you already knew how to get on this Zoom call, so you're doing better than some of the people who signed up, you are qualified to get started. I'm serious. Plus, to start a virtual assistant business, you don't actually have to build anything from scratch. Shh. I made money from home for 3 years without ever building a website as a VA. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so you're going to let the corporations, small business owners, and entrepreneurs do all of the building and creating. And as they do, something's going to come up and they are going to need your help. This is how freelancing works. Maybe their work grows to the point where they can no longer do it themselves anymore, or perhaps something comes up that they don't know how to navigate, or they just can't spend the time on it themselves. And when that day comes, sister friend, they will be anxious to outsource to you. Regardless of what VA, virtual assistant route you go, all you're doing is solving a problem for someone who is already out there looking for your help. Do you already see how this is quite a bit different from network marketing where you're trying to sell skincare to everybody with skin? Yeah, it's not that. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. There are more than 57 million freelancers in the United States. And by the way, that statistic was pre-COVID. I would bet money that has gone up. And 54%, remember our 99.71% of network marketers who lost money? 54% of freelancers earn more than they used to at their 9 to 5 within a year of leaving. So I was not special. I was actually a part of the 54%. That's more than half. Isn't that crazy? In 2020, there were more people filing to get their own LLC. Don't worry, that's not like scary talk. I'll walk you through it, than any other time in history. What does that tell us? It tells us that people realized that a 9 to 5 is not as stable and secure as we thought it was. And people are taking it upon themselves to earn a living without relying on a company. And that's what we're here to do. It's beautiful. But if you're like most of the women I meet, you might be wondering, but Lauren, how do you know that I can do this? So I'd like to introduce you to some of my friends. This is Brittany. Brittany is amazing. She was working at Target part-time, excuse me. She had a baby and she found the Free Mama and she was like, I've been working at Target. Like, I'm not really sure what I can do. And she got into our world and she started working as a virtual assistant. She soon realized that she was passionate about writing. Remember, I told you can get into writing as a VA. And now here's where she's at now. Earlier this month was my wedding anniversary. And just a few weeks ago, my husband and I didn't even know if for the 3rd year in a row, we would be able to celebrate. Now we got a hotel, we got a restaurant, and we're going away next week worry-free. This was a game changer win for me because it was another piece of evidence that this whole entrepreneurial journey that I can do hard things. Thank you, Free Mama. Beautiful. This is Wendy. Wendy was working as a nurse practitioner. She was the breadwinner of her family. So if you think she wasn't skeptical of like, can I actually make more free? Like, can I actually replace my salary? Wendy started as a virtual assistant. She soon got into social media. Y'all, she was trained to be a nurse practitioner. She did not use social media for her job. So if she can learn this, you can learn this. She now has applied for our 6-figure award. This was a post just from a few weeks ago, but she was sharing a memory from the year before. Does that make sense? So in the memory, she said, I'm so grateful for this time with her, talking about her kiddo, grateful for technology that allows us to stay connected with friends and family we can't see, and thankful I can run an entire business without ever leaving my home or my baby. 1 year later, and we're crushing this business and helping more people than I could have imagined. She has since had another baby. She didn't have to worry about maternity leave or any of the stress of like asking for permission for time off. Being an essential worker during COVID, she had already left her job and she got to do it in a really stress-free way, working online with her babies. This is Leandra. Leandra was a teacher. So all my math science people, Leandra was a math teacher. It took her a long time to rev up because you guys, we got to believe in ourselves and that we can do it. And I'm here to show you that you can. And so is Leandra. She said, I never really thought of myself as much of a go-getter, but I'm realizing I am. I was unhappy in the lab, hated the company. So I changed circumstances and got a teaching certificate. I love teaching, but it took everything out of me and left me distant with my family. So I created my own business and I'm doing things my way. It's not easy. It's not perfect, but life is too short to be anything but happy. Go make it happen. I freaking love Leandra. She's amazing. Oh, by the way, so math teacher, she does stuff she learned because y'all have the skills. You just have to learn new tasks. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. She now does stuff with like Google Analytics. She didn't even know what that was. So if you're sitting there like, I don't know, neither did she. And look at her. She was able to finally leave her teaching job. This is Sierra. Sierra is a single mom. I think she has 3 kids, maybe 4. Finally checked the mail today and got my Free Mama shirt. That's actually what I was wearing today too. Sierra's got it on. I'm so excited about this whole journey with all you mamas here. I've been so overwhelmed, exhausted, and mentally drained between my job and personal life, but it was time to make a change and fast before I burn out. Where are my burned out moms? I've been looking for work from home jobs, but everything seemed shady and I didn't know if I could really trust it. Plus, I would have still been working about the same hours and glued to the computer, maybe my phone. I'm beyond grateful I found the Free Mama. This already has changed my life so much, and I'm more determined than ever to keep going and be successful. Thank you all again for being there and offering help whenever needed. Amazing. You already have the skills. Every single one of you watching right now. You already have the skills you need to get started. You just need a willingness to figure out how to do new tasks. So skills, leadership, organization, administrative, creative. We just went through the skills. You just need to learn how to transfer them to the virtual space. And I've got the roadmap for you. There are millions of people already doing this online. They've left their 9 to 5 and they're loving their income and their life. So are you ready to be next is the real question. It's not, can you do it? It's, are you ready to do it? All right. Let's move on to secret number 2. I'm going to take another quick sip of tea. Let me know if this is resonating with you guys. Alyssa, girl, I've got you today. You were making me feel all kinds of cared for. Thank you so much for your energy. How to quickly leverage your current skills to get paid, even if you don't know anything about business. All right. Now that we've established the best way for you to make money from home, let's dive into how to do it so that you're actually making money. What do they say? If you're not making money, it's a hobby, not a business, right? You are here because you want to make cash money. You can build a website, start a Facebook page, write a ton of blog posts, jump on websites like Upwork, and apply for a bunch of job boards. But you will always be busy, even though none of these activities pay you. So read between the lines, friends. Do not go do all of these things or any of these things, okay? The truth is, so many people go about starting a virtual business all wrong. The first way they do this is they cast a wide net. What do I mean by this? By casting a wide net, I mean, you show up and you're like, I'm going to do everything for everybody. The problem with that is that you're not memorable to anybody. Nobody actually understands what you're saying. So instead, we want to think a little bit more narrow and not try to be everything to everybody. That's a really good way to like put yourself right at the bottom. The other way that virtual businesses mess up is that they put the focus all on me, meaning like you, yourself. You're talking about you instead of identifying with the clients. Don't worry, we're going to fix all these things. And last, they think if I build it, they will come. I actually made an Instagram post about this yesterday where like you tell one person like, okay, I'm a virtual assistant now. And then you're like, why isn't there a flood of people wanting to work with me right now? Yeah, no, if you put up a like for sale sign for your garage sale, but you don't market it, or like if you're running a garage sale in your house and you don't tell anybody outside of your house, is anybody going to come buy from you? Of course not. That would be ridiculous, right? But there's a much easier way. So now we're going to dive into the Freedom Framework, which successful virtual assistants know to follow. So successful virtual assistants set a strong foundation. Remember, we don't want to cast a wide net. We want to set a strong foundation. So when Brittany first came into the Free Mama, she was casting a wide net. She was trying to be everything to everybody in the virtual space. And then she realized she had this background in real estate. And she actually came to the Free Mama as a licensed realtor, but because she had a young kiddo, she was super tired of always having to work nights and weekends. Realtors, in case you didn't know, work a lot of nights and weekends. And she's like, I'm off the schedule of my family and I don't want to do this anymore. And so she kind of shunned it, but then she realized that there was actually space in the VA world to work with realtors, an industry she was knowledgeable about. And so instead of trying to cast this wide net, she honed in and she set this strong foundation of these are the services I provide for realtors, that I only serve realtors. And now she was able to get really focused with a strong foundation of her business and things took off. In fact, if you go to the Free Mama Facebook group, you can search Brittany or just the word transaction coordinator. And I would bet money that Brittany's been tagged. Why? Because she didn't cast a wide net. She started with a strong foundation. So now anybody who comes into Facebook in our community or anybody who knows Brittany, because this is the power of a network, and they ask for a real estate VA or a transaction coordinator, Brittany gets tagged over and over. You guys, I could have taken 900 screenshots, but I want to value your time. So set a strong foundation. Instead of putting the focus on you, successful virtual assistants know that the focus should be on relationships. It's on the other person. So we're building out our freedom, FR, relationships. Let me tell you about my girl, Roger. Okay, the first time I ever talked to Roger, she's a German American. She has a very strong accent. And the first time I ever spoke with her, she was so insecure that she would never find work as a virtual assistant because people wouldn't be able to understand her, or like they would think she was weird because she had an accent. Like she was very insecure about it. But what Roger didn't realize is that by being insecure about something about herself, she was putting the focus on her. But as soon as she flipped the script and just started having conversations with people, networking, like even just within the Free Mama world, talking to people and letting them know like what she was interested in. She's interested in a software called Kajabi. She had never even heard of it before she came in the Free Mama. And now because she stopped worrying about herself, she took the focus off of her and she put it off of making connections with people. Same thing as Brittany. Anytime someone's looking for something in Kajabi, look at that, Roger, the original poster. I guess I know who I need to contact. Like it really can be that easy, you guys, when you follow the Freedom Framework. And Roger was able to get that work. She's gone on to do amazing things. And she almost didn't start because of her insecurity about her accent. So we've got to be able to look outwards, focus on relationships instead of focusing on yourself. How freaking great would it be to have people not only want to pay you guys, but to have these people come to you? Would that feel awesome in your virtual assistant business? This is what it's like to follow the Free Mama Freedom Framework. Successful virtual assistants, lastly, know that if I build it, they will come is a total lie from a movie that does not apply to business, but instead they commit to exposure. Another word for exposure, we got to fit it in the freedom framework. So that's why it starts with an E, but we're talking about visibility. What I mean by that, let's look at my friend Noemi. So Noemi was a teen mom. She does not have a college degree. She didn't go to college. She was working under her, she did a couple different things, but then she started working for her dad, who is an accountant. And she started learning bookkeeping. And then she kind of heard this free mama world. And she's like, oh my gosh, like I could do this on my own. I can be a virtual assistant, a virtual bookkeeper, and take these skills that I know. But of course, she had all these doubts. I didn't go to college. I know how to do this really well. And as soon as, again, she applied the foundation, she started focusing on relationships instead of her insecurities. And then she started thinking about exposure, meaning visibility. How do I get seen by people? She blew up. And I don't just mean Noemi is now like not working with her dad anymore and out on her own. I mean that she has, gotten the 6-figure award inside of the Free Mama. She now has other Free Mamas working for her. She's built out an agency. I don't want to overwhelm you guys, but I want to show you what's possible. And look at how she's doing it. This isn't specifically what I teach, but you can see the little TikTok. Noemi loved TikTok. She was on it all day with her little kiddos anyway, like they thought it was so much fun. So she started talking about bookkeeping on TikTok, and she has literally like busted her business open so much that she can't even do it all by herself. Isn't that insane? She took something she was doing anyway, and she made it work for her business. The bottom line is that the secret to success is to not keep your business a secret. And before you tell me, I just made a very large arm gesture. Maybe you heard my chair move back. Before you tell me you are not good at marketing and sales, because I know that's what some of you are thinking right now. If you have ever gotten a job, if you have ever gotten a date, if you've ever gotten married, if you've ever had a best friend, if you've ever convinced somebody to read a book or to go see the movie you want to see or to watch a TV show, you've already been doing all of this. You've already been marketing yourself. And the good news is you've been doing it the right way. You've been doing it authentically by just being yourself. And now it's time for you to get paid for it. You don't even need to go out and find clients. To leverage your skills and get paid quickly, you need to focus on setting a strong foundation, being intentional, not casting that wide net, building relationships with business owners whose problems you can solve, and commit to showing up. Exposure is how business will start to come to you. Jamie, I see you. I'm so shy and awkward with strangers. So that you're focused on you, right? You've got that same insecurity that Roger had. So instead of going out and feeling like you got to create a TikTok channel, which you absolutely do not, that is not what I'm teaching you. You just need to start having conversations with people one-on-one. A lot of introverts tend to do better one-on-one, whereas extroverts tend to not mind being in a group quite as much, right? Okay, let's keep going. And then I will take all your questions in the world at the end. I'm here for it. Let's talk about how to profit in just a few hours a day so that you can spend the rest of it doing what you love. Does that sound good to anybody? All right, it is totally possible to replace a full-time income in part-time hours, even my 6-figure income people. Remember Wendy working as a nurse practitioner, and give yourself a raise anytime you want. But I want to be honest with you guys because I'm not here to be shady, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. If you have a 9-to-5 job, you might have your feet in both worlds for a little while, and that's going to require a little bit of sacrifice. When I first told my husband that I wanted to quit my job, he was working 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, no joke. We had taken out an SBA loan, excuse me, for him to buy a brick and mortar business. That did not go well. And he was there all day, every single day, trying to make it work. So I was basically a single parent with a 2-year-old and a newborn. We were both already waking up at 5:45 every day. So it's not like I had a whole lot of room to get up much earlier. And I was spending about 3 to 4 hours a day commuting between my workplace and where my kids were. I was in the car all the time. And I still was able to start to bring in a few $1,000s a month. So I launched my freelancing business as a side gig while still at my 9-to-5, using skills I already had that contributed thousands of dollars a month to my family and positioned me to leave my job, which you remember I didn't get the courage to do until I had suffered my miscarriage. It's not about already having all of the resources, you guys. I did not have resources when I got started. It's about being resourceful. When it comes to deciding how you should price your services, charging by the hour is going to limit your earning potential. Okay. And this is actually something that sets me apart from a lot of other people in the virtual assistant space because they all teach hourly pricing. So you came to the right place to learn how to be more profitable. You could raise your hourly rates to earn more, but you will still only have the same number of hours to work with, right? Like we've all only got 24, even Beyonce, 24 hours in a day. But when you work on a fixed rate or retainer-based pricing, you're only limited by how long it takes you to get the work done, because we're talking about pricing for value, not for time. Let me give you an example. So let's say that there's a client who is willing to pay you $50 an hour to help them write their blog posts, and they assume it's going to take you 3 hours. So they've already determined in their mind that it's worth $150, like they'd be willing to pay you $150 for this blog post, right? Or you could charge just $150 as a project or retainer price, or like a fixed price, versus that $50 an hour to write a blog post. And because you're going to refine your skills and you like writing blog posts, I'm assuming if someone's going to hire you to do it, you can actually crank it out in just an hour, which means you now have in that same 3 hours the potential to earn $450 instead of if you were to go at that $50 an hour rate. Does that make sense? I get like a yes or a nod to make sure that makes sense. So we're value-based pricing. What is this blog post worth to you, as opposed to how much time did you spend on this thing, okay? And because the quality of your work is not tied to time, notice how I said quality of your work. We're not trying to like not do a good job. Something you'll hear me say a lot in the Free Mama world is like, we put a bow on it. That means like you want to go above and beyond, right? Like otherwise people won't refer more business to you. You want to make people happy. It's not being skimpy, but because the quality of your work isn't tied to time, you're able to have complete control over your schedule and your income while still delivering something awesome. So I want to know, how do you guys feel if you had an extra hour every day? I know that back when I was working at my job still, like an extra hour every day would have been life changing. Actually, it would have been life giving. I would have used it on sleep for sure. Maybe showering, maybe laundry, if we're being real, but still, like it would have been life changing. Now, how would you feel if you could double or even triple what you're earning right now while working fewer hours? Does that sound appealing to anyone? It should. The way that we do this is actually step 4 of the Freedom Plan. It's not the first step. Did you all hear me? It's not the first step. It's the 4th step. And it's called expertise. And it's how you make even more money while doing less. The first step before you get to expertise, you guys, you've got to just start and then start to lean into what you enjoy. Don't put this pressure on yourself to like come out the gate as an expert. Nobody starts anything as an expert. Think about something you like or you're good at or someone you admire. Like no one starts as the best, right? So just start, but then start leaning into what you enjoy. Then sharpen your skills. Be a lifelong learner. Like if you like the thing, you should want to learn more about it, right? Like I like The Bachelor, so I keep watching every new season. Like lean into the things that doesn't make me money, by the way, but like lean into the things that you like. So if you hate social media, maybe don't position yourself as a social media VA. If you hate numbers, maybe don't go be a bookkeeper, right? Like lean into those strengths. And then lastly, make sure people know who you help and how you help them. Because even though you won't feel like an expert initially, perception's everything. If other people keep seeing you get tagged, like our friend Roger or our friend Brittany, or I'm going to introduce you to one more, if other people perceive you as the expert, like it doesn't matter how you feel on the inside. You're gonna get there as long as you're willing to keep learning. And my example of that is the amazing Tracy. I actually just did a podcast episode with her. So you guys can go check out Free Mama Radio and listen to her story. She came into the Free Mama world. She had kind of a background in sales, which was obviously great for her. But she now runs messenger bots. And you might not even know what that is. Like if you get a DM on Facebook, like that's been automated. We actually have one. I'll introduce you to her at the end. Her name's Susie. But she also runs Facebook ads. She had no idea how to do these things. Not even when she first started freelancing, but she got interested in Facebook. So she started learning more and more and more. And now she gets tagged all the time and she is perceived as the expert. And I've gotten to work with Tracy, and I know for a fact that she felt like an imposter. She felt like a fraud until she just kept taking that messy action and really started getting results for people. And so that don't get hung up on expertise because it's something you grow into. Jamie, I see you saying like, I don't know what field to start in. Cool, start as a general virtual assistant. And I'll help you with this, like as part of the foundation as well. And something else you can do is just start looking for what types of VA things are people asking for help with and which ones sound interesting to you. Another great way to do this is process of elimination. Sometimes it's easier to answer what we don't want before it is easier to answer like what we do want. And here's the amazing Tracy. She also has gone on to earn our 6-figure award. You guys, these are people earning hundreds of thousands of dollars following the Freedom Framework in their business. These are moms like you who didn't even know about freelancing. Isn't that insane? So this is what it's like to have the freedom to work your schedule around what you and your family want and need and still be able to pay the bills. If you're still here, I know that you're serious about working from home and creating a positive, lasting change in your life, and that you're seeing virtual assistants as the path to get you there. So now I've shown you the first part of the Freedom Framework. You can work from home, control your schedule, and make more money without having to join an MLM or sell to your friends and family. You already have the skills you need to get started, to lay a strong foundation, build relationships with people, and get exposure that will help you connect with the people you're meant to serve. And it's totally possible to replace a full-time income in part-time hours by working for your value, not your time, and by honing your expertise as you go. If you follow just these 4 steps of the process that I shared with you today, do you think that you could get started as a virtual assistant? I know that you could. I've seen thousands of people do it. Now you can take all of this and you can use it and you can get going. Or if it's okay with you, I'd like to tell you how you can work with me to speed up your learning curve and your money-making results. The Free Mama has changed the lives of over 4,700 women from Canada, the US, the UK, South Africa, basically all over the world in the last 3 years alone. That is my rainbow baby, by the way, down in the corner. That's Audrey. Everything you need to start and grow a successful freelancing business from home is inside of the Free Mama movement. And I want you to think of this as your fast track to freedom. So what is inside of this program? The Free Mama movement includes 7 easy to follow training modules. So we went through today a little bit. Obviously, I can't teach you everything I know, but we'll unpack every single one of these things. Module 1, we go through the foundation. So we talked about figuring out, like Jamie says, like, where do I start? How do I figure out what those interests are and those services that I can provide? But also, you know, what technology do I need to know about? What software do I need to have set up? I threw out the word LLC earlier. I kind of explained what that means in a way that's really not intimidating. I know for me, that was one of the reasons I almost didn't start. I had a lot of questions around like health insurance and taxes and like, I don't know how to do this stuff. And I'm going to explain all of that to you inside of Foundation to make sure that you feel confident moving forward. Inside of Module 2, we're going to dive deep into relationships so that you guys can build those same types of networks that Brittany and Roger and Tracy have that has leads coming to them every single day. We're going to talk about exposure in a way that's really not intimidating. So I know some of you are introverts, maybe you identify as shy. I'm going to make it really painless and easy for you to put yourselves out there so that you can start to attract clients for your virtual assistant business. I'm also going to teach you about expertise so that when you're ready, you can start making more money and really dive into the area of virtual assistants or freelance work that is going to make you feel really happy. Because what I don't want is for you to just start a business that replaces your job. I really want you to find fulfillment and passion for what you do and the clients that you work with while making bank and hitting your financial goals. And today we didn't have time to dive into these, but you're going to get it inside of the program. Module 5 is discipline. And I know that that has kind of a negative connotation. Don't worry, I explained what I mean, because discipline actually it really isn't negative. We just think that way because we're moms with like terrible 2-year-olds. But we're going to talk about focus and time management and how we can automate certain things online to make our business even easier and smoother and run faster. In Module 6, we'll talk about overcoming obstacles. These are internal and external. Remember I told you Roger was really worried about her accent. Like it was a big hang up for her. We call these limiting beliefs or fears. And I'm going to teach you an entire framework that's going to help you overcome all of those limiting beliefs that are trying to keep you small. They're trying to keep you safe, but they're going to prevent you from reaching your goals. But we'll also talk about external challenges. Like what do I do if I have a client who I don't want to work with anymore, for example? And last but not least, we're going to talk about momentum. How do I sustain this business? How do I create something that really can become my career and not just like the next thing that I do? So here's kind of our roadmap that we walk you through for the 70 Easy Follow modules. You're going to get lifetime access and all updates. Several of these things we add new content to regularly. I'll explain more about that in just a minute. Here are some awesome endorsements for the program. I promise you, there are a lot of people who have been using this framework and making it work for them and truly change their life, whether their goal was to make $1,000 a month or to replace a six-figure salary. I love humans. None of these were taken during COVID, don't worry. I love humans, so I love to host events and travel and come meet you. Shannon says, I'll be signing my highest retainer client tonight, which pushes me past my income goal to replace my 9-to-5. She has since turned in her notice and left her job, which is amazing. Here's some more free mamas. There's Leandra. I got to meet her in real life and her kiddos at a park. Oh, such good times. Tiffany Lewis, hey, I'm back. I actually picked this one for a reason and want to share with you that this is a really common thing inside the Free Mama, where people kind of quote unquote graduate and like they go on and they're doing the thing, like they're running their business, but they always come home because the Free Mama is truly a family. So she came back to the Facebook group to share with us. She's been busy, but she wanted to let us know that she had her first 10K month. That's a 5-figure month. That is massive, living in so much gratitude. So you're going to get full access to the entire program, but that's not it because we need to make sure you have everything you need to be successful. So you're also going to get our freelance track bonus. Okay. This is our quick start freelance and track. So if you were like, oh my gosh, this is really interesting, but virtual assistant, like that sounds good. I know I can do that, but tell me more about the writing. We have an entire program that's curated from over a dozen professionals, including myself, that are going to walk you through different, what we call niches. So these are different types of services that you can provide. So remember I talked about bookkeeping, writing, website stuff, like all of those different trainings. And we have experts that are going to walk you through exactly what they do in these different niches in case virtual assistant maybe isn't where you want to start, but you will definitely get that foundation as well. Inside bonus 2, this is our need to know software lab. Anytime you start something new, think about a job, think about your first day at your last job that you've ever had, right? Like, did you know what you were doing? Of course not. Nobody knows what they're doing on the first day of a job. So we want to show you the need to know software. You're going to learn which software programs are must learns for your business versus the ones that you would only need to know if you're in like a certain niche or if you really like it and maybe that's something that you want to do. Plus, we keep these up to date with the latest trends in software. So if there's something new that comes out and people want to know about it, we'll make a training on it so that you kind of have that overview. Bonus number 3, this is probably my favorite thing. I'm not going to lie. It's called the prospect to paid training. And I'm going to walk you through the entire sales process. So if you get squirmy when I say the word sales, please don't. Like it's you only feel squirmy because at some point someone made you feel gross about sales. But the reality is if you want a business and not a hobby, you need someone to give you money. But I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that. And all those little things that you see there, that's my proposal template. You're going to get a contract template, an onboarding checklist. I'm going to tell you exactly what questions to ask someone when you're talking to them about working together. And you get all of that, including the training on how to use them inside the prospect to paid training. It's one of my favorite things. Super just, it's going to blow your mind. I already talked about all that. Bonus number 4. Creating a scalable business. So maybe you're listening right now and you're like, this is so cool. Like, I totally want to do this. And at some point, like, I want to do what Lauren's doing right now. Well, I've got your back there too. One of the beautiful things about the Free Mama is that we don't just leave you hanging at VA. You guys are here right now because you're at the very beginning of this journey. But at some point, you might be ready for the next step. And we've got your back covered for all of that as well. Okay. So if you want to create something that can change your business model to become more scalable, we have a ton of resources for you to be able to do that. So you're going to get all this stuff. That's not all, obviously. Vanna White over here. You're going to get a tax tracker for your home office because the cool thing about working from home when you're self-employed is that you can actually take tax deductions. And this is something that my CPA created for me. You're just going to pop in all your bills, like your mortgage, your water, your electric, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to tell you what you can write off. Isn't that great? You're also going to get our Path to Freedom workbook and planner. This is going to walk you through the entire course and give you some really amazing exercises that you can do that are going to help you process through some of these things. Jamie, like, I don't know what field to start in. Well, we have the exercises that are going to help you come to those conclusions and hold you accountable. And last but not least, we've got the budgeting worksheet for work and home. This is beneficial for anybody who likes to budget, but this is especially helpful for anybody who is trying to set themselves up to be able to leave a 9-to-5. You've really got to be paying attention to your cash so that you're going to feel, more confident when you make that leap away from your job. You're also going to get access to the free Mama Matchmaker. This thing is the coolest thing ever. So I have a lot of entrepreneurial friends since I've been kind of in this world for the last 6 years, and they're constantly coming to me going, I need a VA, I need a VA, I need a copywriter, I need a social media manager. And so we have a free directory that you get to be a part of. This is exclusively for Free Mama Movement students. This is actually the old version, but it kind of looks like this. And so you get to be a part of that. And this is a way for entrepreneurs to come directly to you to hire you for your services, which is super exciting. So you're going to get all this stuff. The total value is almost $20,000. You guys know I'm not going to charge you guys $20,000 for this. But I want you to really think about the fact, and I think that because you're still here, you know this, the Free Mama will change the quality of your life. We've seen it. You've gotten introduced to some of these people. I encourage you to join our free Facebook group so that you can experience that for yourself. It really is a place unlike any other that I've ever experienced online. And so I want you to kind of ask yourself right now, like, take a deep breath, and what would the Free Mama life mean to you? Like, where are you at right now? You guys have been so great today with your energy, but I haven't gotten to know your stories. And I really want you to think about if starting a virtual assistant business, if joining me on this journey and learning the Free Mama Freedom Path would change your life. I'm pretty confident that it would. And so while I said, of course, I'm not going to charge you $20,000, the program price is $1,997. But I want to do something really special for you guys today. And I can literally say I've never done this. I want to take $500 off of that for you guys for being here today with me live. So it comes to $1,497. I know when I first started investing in myself, it was really, really terrifying. It was something I'd never done before. And it's taking a risk on yourself. And you kind of do this inner work of like, oh man, am I ready for this? Like, am I really going to follow through? And for some of you might be thinking, I can't swing that. That's not a financial possibility for me right now. And so I've also decided to add a monthly payment plan for you. So we're going to break it down into 7 payments since it's 7 modules, a module for the information. And we want to make this as accessible to you as possible. I want you guys to keep reflecting with me, if you will. If all this did was give you more peaceful and sustainable way to earn a living, would that be worth it to you? If all this did was help you feel less guilty, that's where I was as a mom, and less stressed out, would that be worth it to you? And if all this did was help you quit your job, finally, maybe you're trapped in a toxic work environment like I was, and have more control over your time so you could show up as the parent you wanted to be, what would that be worth to you? So many of us are willing to go take out, these crazy loans to go to college just to be stuck in debt and mediocre jobs for the rest of our life. But you have the ability to turn this investment into something that could earn you happiness and a career, and you could pay it off with your first client. If you had a successful virtual assistant business that was making you money, what would that be worth to you? Listen, I'm going to hold your hand and tell you everything you need to do every single step of the way, but I'm going to need you to show up. So if you're motivated, which I know you are, because that was one of the qualifications at the very beginning of this training, then you do not need to worry, because I've got you for the rest. If you've got the motivation to do the work, I've got the information you need. So I want to turn my video back on while I sip some tea. I want to answer, hopefully my video is working. I think someone earlier said it didn't come back on. Hopefully my video is on. I'd love to look at you guys. You guys can head to freedom.thefreemama.com if you are ready to dive on in. There's not going to be a time limit on being able to join. We want you to join. We are going to put a time limit on this deal because the Free Mama rewards fast action takers. That's just the truth of the matter. But I'm not going anywhere. I've been doing this for 3.5 years. Some of the Free Mamas have become my best friends. You saw my pictures with them. I travel to come see you guys. I love you so stinking much. So I'm in it. I'm in it for you guys. I'm not going anywhere. But how many more days do you want to wait? How much more time do you want to spend, not stepping into this next iteration of what your life could look like? And that's the question that you have to answer for yourself right now. So I'm here to answer questions, by the way. You can drop them in the chat. You can also let my team and I help you. So I have an amazing assistant. She started as a free mama, just like you guys. Her name is Jordan. If you see that number down at the bottom, you can call us, you can text us. You will talk to a real human and a former student of the Free Mama. That's 832-910-7398. Remember I told you my friend Tracy does messenger bots. So if you go to susie.thefreemama.com, if you're more comfortable chatting with us on Facebook, send us a message. Susie will get started, but we also have humans who will come into the messenger and talk to you as well. So we're all here rooting for you. Tracy, like I said, so many of the people who now support me and support the mission of the Free Mama, they're former students, just like you guys. And so we get it. We know your hesitations. We know that you're nervous. We talk a lot about what's the difference between taking the plunge and taking the leap. And I think there's a level of belief in the word taking the leap, right? There's a level of positivity and trust in that process. Alyssa says, how long does the deal last? I just want to speak to my husband about it when he gets home from work. I think that's great. I really do. I will never be someone who's no, do it now. That's gross. I want you to have a husband who supports you in this. And in fact, we'll send out the replay. And if you want him to watch it, I think that's great. I actually have a video on YouTube on Free Mama TV of me and my husband talking about our journey of learning to support each other in entrepreneurship. The deal will last 5 days. So this will be open for 5 days at the $500 off. And then, like I said, Alyssa, you'll still have the ability to join. It'll just be at our retail program price, that $1,997. So we're not going anywhere, and we'd love to serve you. Any other questions, you guys? Don't be shy. I'm here for it. I think you can even send it. There's a Q&A pop-up. So if you are nervous to ask your question in front of everybody, you can send it to me as a Q&A and I can just read the question out loud. Jamie says, this sounds amazing, but I've been off work for 14 months due to COVID and tapped all my savings. I totally get it, Jamie. And remember, I was in that place too, where it's not about resources, it's about being resourceful. So I know a lot of free mamas have talked to friends and family. I know a lot of people have gotten on Facebook Marketplace and sold something. And I'm not telling you to go do that. I'm telling you what other people have done. When I first invested myself, I had to put it on a credit card. That's just the truth. And unlike the amazing Alyssa, I didn't tell my husband because I was really scared. And so I actually told him after I paid it back. But that was my truth. And so if this is something you want, Jamie, think about how you can be resourceful. Okay. The Free Mama puts out tons of resources. I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel. So be resourceful. Don't be so concerned about the resources you currently have. Because remember, if you don't do something different, how do you expect anything different to happen? So just kind of sit with that for a minute, Jamie. Someone asked me in the question chat, are there really companies that will hire us? 1000% yes. There are companies that hire virtual assistants. Just go Google, now that you've been introduced to this world, go Google a little bit. Don't be vague because you're going to get overwhelmed with the 4 billion search results. But get on LinkedIn and look, there's always people who are outsourcing all the time. So there's companies, but a big part of what I do through the Freedom Framework is focus on relationships. So while some people in the Free Mama community are being hired by corporations and big companies, a lot of people are working with the small business owner or the entrepreneur or the solopreneur, meaning kind of that entrepreneur who's been doing it all by themselves. The great thing about virtual assistants, it's typically the first thing that entrepreneurs and solopreneurs will outsource because they need someone to come in and do all of that, the busy work. So if you're someone who loves that, you love admin, you love organization, you are typically one of the first hires that someone will make. So Mallory, well, sorry, I think that was maybe supposed to be anonymous. Sorry, Mallory, I ratted you out. Someone, maybe Mallory, asked, it depends on each person and their path, but on average, how quickly can someone get their first client after they finish the program? Great question. So Mallory, a lot of my students actually get their first client before they finish the program, because if you go through the way that I teach it, if you follow the Freedom Framework, it's in order. As soon as you have set that, so we have a little intro because I want to get you in the right headspace, but then we have the foundation module. So now we're kind of clear on what you're doing. And then as soon as you start building relationships, a lot of people get their first client right then and there. One of the biggest blocks, no, not one of the biggest, the biggest block, I'm going to own this. The biggest block for people is when they get in their own way. And isn't that just the truth in general? So the biggest hurdle all of you are going to have to overcome, not just in making this decision to invest in yourself, but even after you invest, is, am I going to do what Lauren teaches me? Or am I going to talk myself out of it because of my insecurities or my doubts? So there is a level of personal development. That's what the Overcoming Obstacles is all about. We also, like I said, have this amazing supportive community online, and we're there for you. Like it's genuine. You're going to need people in your world who understand what you're doing, because you guys are special. You really are. Not everybody is cut out to be self-employed because they're not as motivated as you are. They didn't show up live today. You know, I think we had over 500 people register to be here today. You guys can see the Zoom room, and I get it. It's 9 o'clock on a Friday morning. My daughter's at preschool. I had to do it right now. It's when I was available. So I understand it's not a good time, but you guys are the ones who showed up, you know? And so I know you're motivated, but there's going to be some of that getting out of your own way. I don't really understand the process. How do you get started as a VA? What do you do? How do you build clients? So we kind of went through that in the training. Today, you set that foundation of who are you talking to, who are you serving, what services are you going to provide, and then you start building relationships with people in your network. That really, I could talk for years on this topic, but it really is that simple of a process. And then I give you a lot more of the tactical, like you get scripts and templates and full-blown trainings about, I have something called the content matrix. It's really cool. And it will help you know exactly what to talk about. Like I mentioned in the prospect to paid training, I have entire scripts of exactly what to say when you are having a conversation with someone about becoming their virtual assistant. So the course, unlike, you know, what we can accomplish in 1 hour, is really going to lay out every single thing step by step, holding your hand. Plus you're going to have the support inside of our community to answer any questions where maybe something's not clicking with you. Great question. So, I think I might've missed one. So I would have a question. Sorry, I got questions coming at me from 2 places. I want to make sure I get them all. I think I got all of those. So I would have a question to getting started to being more resourceful. I have started a remote job as an independent contractor, providing customer service, and would allow me more time and work on proofreading training. I'm not sure what your question was, Stacy. So if you have a remote job, but you're working as an independent contractor, they technically hired you as a freelancer if you're an independent contractor. So you kind of are already doing the thing. I'm guessing though, that because they hired you as a remote job, if you don't have control over your hours, then technically you should have been hired as an employee. The government actually has an opinion about what makes someone an independent contractor versus an employee. If you want to rephrase, I'm happy to try to answer that if there was a question in there. But if you're already working as an independent contractor, that is freelancing. That's kind of what we're talking about. Steph says, how long does it take to go through the program? You get access to the entire thing. So I would say, you know, don't rush it unless your plan is to kind of consume the whole thing, digest it, and then go through step by step. You are going to have some homework. Like there's going to be things you have to start and implement. I would say on average, to really make your way thoughtfully through the whole thing probably takes 2 or 3 months. But again, you don't need to consume the whole thing to start making money. In fact, you shouldn't. You should really be starting to focus on getting clients in modules 2 and 3. Alyssa, do you help us figure out what we should be charging? Yes, absolutely. What a great question. I definitely help you figure out what you should be charging and how you should be setting your rates, especially once you start to figure out what you really want to be doing. And that's something else that you'll see a lot of people inside of our Facebook group, like crowdsourcing. So a lot of people, like you'll get feedback from other people as well. A lot of people do end up starting at that hourly rate because you've never done the thing before. But a big part of what I help people do is transitioning into that retainer value-based pricing that we spoke about so that you can really be maximizing your income and your workload. Stacy, I have already for proofreading training, but I'm working for TurboTax. Got it. As an independent contractor, you set your own schedule. I felt that this job experience is good experience. I'm working on my goal of building proofreading business at least part-time. I think that's great. Yeah, I agree. I think that sounds like a really great stepping stone, Stacy, especially if you get to set your own schedule. So if you're already doing training for proofreading, are they teaching you more about proofreading or actually setting your business up? Would probably be my one question to you, because most of what we focus on is how to actually set up your freelancing business, get clients, grow your business, increase your pricing, and really like client delivery. So it would be a lot less on the proofreading part. It would be more about how to actually start that business on your own. Great questions, you guys. Anything else? I'm here for it. Excuse me. He got burnt with your other attempts. Stephanie, I totally get it. My best advice to you, Steph, is I called you Stephanie. I don't know if it's Stephanie or Steph. I apologize. Steph, my best advice to you is to hop over to Free Mama TV. It's my YouTube channel. You can just get on YouTube and search Free Mama. We have lots of testimonials. You are so not alone, my friend. And remember the statistics, like it's not your fault. If I guess I don't know that your other attempts were network marketing, but I'm speculating based on a lot of the students that I've had. It's not your fault. And I totally get it. And again, maybe you watch this training together. I know a lot of free mamas have done that with their significant others. And then again, I've got that resource. I think, the thing though about other people and getting their support is like, two things. Number one, they can't see our inner desires. He won't feel what you're feeling. He just won't. And I think when we expect other people to feel what we feel, that's where disappointment comes in. They say all disappointment comes from unmet expectations. And I think it's unrealistic to expect someone else to like feel what we feel. The other thing is a lot of times there's been a lot of free mamas who like maybe a parent doesn't support them or their best friend doesn't get it, or maybe it's their significant other. And it's really, really hard. But I think it's important to remember that they're coming from a place of loving you. Like they don't want, it's not that they don't believe in you, it's that they don't want to see you get hurt. And so I actually have like a lot of respect for that. I really, really do. But I understand that can feel frustrating when you're trying to make a decision about investing and you feel like you need the other person on board. So my best advice is to go watch some of those trainings they're not trainings, videos that we have from other free mamas. And I think that might be really helpful for him to see that like, this is real. There's thousands of people doing this, and not in like oh, well, yeah, there's thousands of people in network marketing. Cool. But we also know that there's been national studies that show that, 99% of them lose money. Freelancing has quite different statistics, as does the free mama ecosystem. So Stacy says, I believe both. The training is general proofreading, creative. Oh, I know Caitlin Pyle. I know Caitlin. I'm not familiar with her course, but I know Caitlin, and I know that she teaches proofreading really great. So that's awesome. Very cool. All right. Any other questions, you guys? I still have a handful of you guys on here, and I know what that means because I've been there in the not very far past. It probably means that you might be a fence sitter. And I talk about this in my community as well. So the fence sitter, what I always joke, because I'm kind of playful and high energy, which you've probably learned throughout this training, the fence sitter, it hurts your crotch to sit on the fence. Like it hurts your crotch. So we talk a lot about making decisions inside the Free Mama. And actually, because I'm very logical, you can probably tell that because I have lots of like data and research. There's also been research that shows that the most successful people are quick decision makers. And I think it's because it prevents them from being and or staying stuck. How many people got a gut punch when I said the word stuck? Like, how many of you have been feeling stuck? Like you're stuck in your job, or you're stuck in, an unhappy situation, or maybe you're stuck in unemployment, and all of those things suck. It sucks to be stuck. And the only way to get unstuck is to decide. And it's hard because if you don't have this huge history of trust, of like making good decisions and trusting in yourself, you might be starting from scratch. But you've got to start to build that rapport with yourself where you decide and then you trust. And you realize that nothing's permanent in this world, ladies. We're getting a little like mindset preachy, but I'm going to go with it because I feel like someone needs to hear it right now. There's not something that you are going to do that is going to be the end of you. Who was it? Who just said your failed attempts? Steph. Like, Steph, I get it. You've had failed attempts. Guess what? So have I. So have I. Like, I've lost money. I've been embarrassed. Like, I failed. It sucks, but I'm still here. And now I'm here getting to teach you guys. Like, that's really cool, And so I think when we trust that, like, no, you might not win every time, but you can always fix it. And you're always going to get up again. And you can always recalibrate. I have a lot of free mamas who they started as virtual assistants until they realized they loved something else. They loved copywriting, or they loved social media management. And then we just start making decisions that push us in alignment with that thing. It's not permanent. You get to live your life with fluidity. And I know we get stuck, especially as women, in perfectionism, and we want to get it right and we want to know everything, but that's really just not the way that life works. Steph says, I speak 5 languages. Can I do something using those skills? Totally. There's translation work and like transcription that people are looking for. Maybe you are a virtual assistant for businesses, in one of your other languages, and you can definitely think about that. There are a lot of bilingual, 5 languages is pretty impressive, but there are a lot of bilingual women inside of the Free Mama. You've been working as a chef on a sailboat for the last 15 years and you feel unqualified for everything. You're not. Customer service. If you've been working as a chef on a sailboat, I'm assuming you also were maybe serving or like setting up platters or presentations. Maybe that's not true. You can tell me, but customer service. You're here, you're talking to me right now, right? Like, you're using complete sentences. Remember, we have to separate the skills from the tasks. You have the skills. You have customer service skills. You have language skills. Now you need to align them with freelancing tasks. You are not unqualified. Unqualified would mean you don't have the skills. You do have the skills. You just haven't done the tasks yet, but you can learn those things. Google's a great tool, you guys. If you're not using Google every day, you should be. I use it like every 15 minutes. It's bad. I was interested to see if there would be any live events to attend in the near future. Live events to attend in the near future from the Free Mama. So I'm not sure if that's what you were asking, Stacy. We are having another virtual event in the fall. So I do host events. We had a live one a few years ago. Or do you mean like networking events? I'm not quite sure what you meant. We do have events at the Free Mama. Excuse me, ladies. We are going virtual again in the fall, but we are having a live event in February of 2022. And as far as live networking events, there's a website called meetup.com. I think that people will be having live events again soon. I'm actually going to one in September. I'm going to a smaller one in June. So I think people are getting together again. Let's see. Too many skills. Okay, you guys are talking to each other. I'm trying to look for question marks. Alyssa, oh, so good. I think as women, sometimes we don't give ourselves credit. Isn't that the truth? So actually, something you guys would all benefit from is head to the Free Mama group. I'm so sorry. I have the worst tickle in my throat. Head to the Free Mama movement on Facebook. You can search for it. It's a Facebook group. Request to join. We'll get you in if you're not already. Once you do, I want you to search, and a lot of the screenshots that I shared with you today had it, #FreeMamaWin, and read some of these women's stories. It's why we do it, Alyssa. Every Friday is Free Mama Win Friday. And we have to learn to toot our own horn. We have to learn. We also, another thing that we talk about is many wins. A lot of times, like, we don't acknowledge anything until there's like fireworks going off in the background. And even then, a lot of us don't practice that. And it's because of what you're talking about, Alyssa. We don't give ourselves enough credit. And yeah, I think our community is something very different. There was a live event near me in Colorado, but I didn't know if I could attend. Oh, that was in 2019. Is that what you're talking about? I was in Denver in 2019. Is that what you're talking about, Stacy? I'm not sure. But yes, anytime I have an event, y'all are my friends. You're my people now. You're of course invited to attend. I would love to have you. Let's see here. Okay, a lot of what I'm interested in is freelance writing, and you definitely touched on this today. Virtual assistant and other areas didn't really occur to me, and I may find another interest, but I do have a passion for writing. So is there specific focus on freelance writing in the program? So remember how I told you about the bonus, Mallory, that is the Quick Start freelance track? One of our trainings is about freelance writing. Yes. And there's also, so I actually have a copywriter, her name's Abby, and she comes in often and talks about freelance writing. So there's all different kinds of things you could do. There's blogging, there's like research type writing, there's sales writing, which is the most profitable because there's what's called an ROI, that stands for return on investment. And you could do it through emails, you could do it through website copy. So really exciting. And there's lots of other free mamas in our community who also do writing that you would be able to collaborate with as well. I love the info. Okay, let's see. I was in Denver. Yep, awesome. Okay, cool. Any other questions, you guys? Kaylee and Stacy and Mallory, and Steph, thank you guys so much for all of your participation today. Alyssa, Jordan, I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. All right, you guys, I would love to be able to support you, to teach you the rest of the Freedom Framework. Remember, I think the thing I want you to remember is, like, if you want something different, you have to do something different, and that you are not alone. It is scary to make this leap and to make an investment in yourself. And I understand it. And again, if you've got the motivation, we have the support and the accountability and the coaching and the step-by-step framework that will teach you everything you need to know to be successful. So I hope that you say yes to yourself. If you need anything else, again, up on the screen, contact us, send us a message, send us a call or a text message over on the phone number. Head over to our YouTube channel. You'll get an email of the replay if you need to watch it with someone else, if you want to rewatch it and take notes this time. That is definitely something that you should do as well. And please join our Facebook group so that we can love and support you no matter what you decide. We'd love to have you a part of our family. I hope you guys have just the best day ever and a great weekend. And I hope to be able to work with some of you soon. Have a great day. Bye, guys. See ya.